Hi, Dr. Paone. So for this activity, I was not able to find all of the items on the shopping list. I went into Walgreens and Rite Aid, and they basically had the same things. The things I couldn't find, and I don't think I would have found, are the bandages. I actually Googled that to see if they even exist because I never even thought that I never I never thought they did exist, and I never have seen them. So, I mean, but they do. I'm just not really sure where exactly you can get them, other than maybe online. Maybe I could have tried Walmart. Um, that is something that even when we talked about it in class, I keep thinking about how I've never had to think about that. Like, I would never walk in and say, oh, I need a band-aid that matches my skin color, because it already does. And or if you in there with your child and they have a boo-boo or whatever, and you're like putting a band-aid on them that obviously doesn't match their skin color, I just feel like that's probably maybe the child probably more internalizes it, but as a parent you know exactly what they're thinking and what it means that you can't find a band-aid in your child's skin color. I also, in Walgreens and Rite Aid, couldn't find books for the book for my child, or a romance novel for me that had black people on it. There really wasn't a selection, though. There was maybe 10 romance novels. I didn't even see any children's books. So, again, maybe something I could potentially find in Walmart or TJ Maxx, Target, maybe, but probably not a big selection. Things that I did see, actually the stockings and pantyhose were right with all the other ones at the top. So I thought that was more progressive than I was expecting. The blemish, cover up and makeup, there was a decent amount of darker skin tones in the cover up and makeup. It probably wasn't no, it definitely wasn't as much as there are for lighter skins. And there's, for me, I could probably go and pick from 10 different shades of light, I guess. And then the darker ones, there was one or two, if they had any, for a darker skin tone. And again, I think that would make me feel, as a black woman, like, okay, let me just get what's here, not necessarily what works best for you, which wouldn't be the case for a white person. Let's see. With the pantyhose and the cover up, it was all in the same sections, as it was all kind of like mixed in. The hair products. I thought it was interesting because while they were in the same aisle as the other hair products, they weren't. They were in like three little condensed aisles at the bottom of the row, as compared to like the whole aisle full of white or not specified black products. So I took a picture of. I don't know if you can see those three rows right there. And again, the prices were comparable. It was just, all right in one section, separate. I found one fashion magazine, and there was a ton there for black women. And it was all the way in the back, and you would have really had to dig for it. I found, I want to say maybe 2 cards that had a black woman on them. And that was really hard to come to terms with, just because there were probably, I would say close to 1,000 different cards there. There was a couple I noticed that did have black men on them, but it always pertained to golfing. So I don't know what that was about. But the ones that had black women on them, I mean, there was nothing stereotypical about the cards. It was just the fact that there was 2, maybe 3 in a section that had 1,000. in the toy section, I found a doll. I found two dolls. One of them was Doc McStuffins. I don't really know what that is. I think it's a TV show for kids. But so there was that, and then there was one Bratz doll or Barbie or something like that. And I thought that that was good that they had them, but again, if you're taking, instead of having, an aisle full of toys for your daughter to choose from, if you're looking for a doll or toy that she can identify with, you have two options. And you have to look a little more too. Finding a hairdresser in my town was probably impossible. I think if maybe you have a black friend in town, you can ask them where they go, but they probably don't go anywhere in my town. I actually ended up looking it up online, and some of the places people said were Lakewood, which is, about 40 minutes from where I live, or Atlantic City, which again is about 40 minutes to 45 where I live. There may be a place or two in Tom's River, but it was hard to really tell by the websites if they were just coming up in my search or if there actually is someone who specializes in African American hair or black hair. There were no black salespeople in the store, and not really any other black people in the store while I was in there. I don't know if that was just the time I was in there. And I think that if a black person had a problem with anything at the store, they would encounter a white person, probably a female. I feel like there tends to be more females working at Rite Aid and Walgreens. Having answered all these questions, I just felt kind of frustrated, because not only are you limited in what you can pick out, it actually took me, if I'm going in there and I know what I need, I have a lot more to choose from, and I know exactly where to go, and it doesn't take me very long, whereas I think if I guess it could go either way. You're going in there, you only have two options. It might not take you very long to look for something, but also it takes longer to just look in general. Like I had to really sort through the toy section, sort through the cards to find what I was looking for. And I also thought it was, I could go in there and kind of get everything that I needed, where a black person would have to go probably to a couple different stores. Also with a hairdresser, I know I could walk into any salon and they'll be able to do my hair. Any in the, 5-mile, 10-mile radius of where I live. Whereas a black woman, again, would have to go online to maybe do research or look in the phone book or call a couple places first before she could do that. And it seems like the woman in this scenario was very busy. She had a daughter. She was divorced, so she probably wouldn't have time to sit there and Google where to go and call around a bunch of places. It would be much more of a hassle for her as a black woman. This is getting long, so I'm going to cut it short, but I really did like this activity. I think it was difficult, not only because we had to go out and actually try to find the stuff, but it kind of makes you it gives you like a deeper understanding of what privilege means on a daily basis, not just, in your whole life in general, just like the everyday things that you have to think about or not think about as a white person. Thank you.